Hey, coach, what if the real reason your income isn't growing isn't about strategy, it's not about visibility, but the subtle ways you're leaking money and giving away your financial power? I'm Kendall, and in this episode of the Money Coach School podcast, I'm exposing the hidden money truths that are silently draining your profit, no matter how hard you work or how much you earn. Because let's face it, you don't need to hustle harder. You need to make cleaner, bolder, more profitable decisions, what I call $1,000,000 decisions. If you're ready to stop shrinking around money and start holding, keeping, and multiplying it like a woman who leads, this episode is your turning point. It's all here for you in this episode of the Money Coach School. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Money Coach School podcast. To really excel at coaching women, you have to be skilled, confident, and even fearless at money coaching. If you're passionate about women holding genuine money power and love supporting women entrepreneurs, then this is the show for you. Now here's your host, money feminist, Kendall Summerhawk.
Hello, my powerful, soulful, money-minded woman. Welcome back to the Money Coach School podcast. This is the podcast for women who are done playing small with money and ready to make, hold, and multiply more of it. This episode is a bit of a feminine money wake-up call, and we're talking about money leaks. These are the hidden power drains that are silently shrinking your income, sabotaging your capacity, and keeping you circling that just enough pattern. Even though you're working hard, you're showing up consistently, you're doing all the things. So we're going to spot them, we're going to plug them, and then I'm going to get you started making what I call $1,000,000 decisions, which are clean, strategic, soul-aligned choices that grow your profit without hustle and build overflow as a way of life. Now, all that sounds really fancy, but really what it is it boils down to stop giving away your power with money, and I'll give you a checklist for that, and start making better decisions around money. And it's going to create more money for you, and you'll have more to keep and to hold. All right, so today's episode is really like a mini masterclass. And if you want to go deeper into this particular topic, I've created a powerful free workshop just for you. It's called Overflow, Your Key to Unlocking a $1,000,000 Business. So if you go to kendallsummerhawk.com/overflow, and I'll also put a link in the show notes, you can register for that. And you'll get the full video training, you get a downloadable workbook, you get a breakdown of $1,000,000 emotions and $1,000,000 decisions. So this is the perfect companion to today's podcast episode, which, like I said, is really like a mini masterclass. And I'll link to that in the show notes as well. All right, let's dive in. And I want to start with this question. Where does money actually come from in your business? Now, most people would say, well, it comes from selling, from signing on clients, from marketing, from having more clients. And that could all be true, but that's not the full truth. Money flows into your business through your decisions. That's actually where it comes from. And your decisions are shaped by your emotions, and your emotions are anchored in your identity. So if you're not feeling safe with money, if your nervous system is wired for just enough, which you know that's the case if you experience the money in, money out cycle. It's like earn, spend, start over, earn, spend, start over. If your identity is still tied to shrinking to fit, staying comfortable, then even when money does come in, it leaks right back out. And that's what I call having money power leaks. Money power leaks are the subtle, very sneaky ways women give away their financial power. Examples include undercharging, avoiding raising your rates, delaying launches, not making offers or not making offers frequently enough, skipping offering an upgrade or VIP option with your packages, or letting money flow out with no system to hold it and keep it and make it work for you, having bloated expenses that suck all the profit out of your business. Now, these aren't just habits, they're actually decisions that stem from feeling all kinds of things with money, like hesitancy or doubt or uncertainty or guilt or fear. And trust me, I see this happening at all income levels, from $50,000 a year to $500,000 a year. I've seen it at $1 million and $2 million a year. But here's the good news. You can plug every single one of these starting now. And what I love about this so much, I get a little geeky about plugging money leaks, is that it's no additional time or work on your part to plug them. And every money leak you plug puts you back in your power, puts you back in your sovereignty, to where that feeling and that way of making choices in your business becomes your new, yummy, delicious normal. And it puts you into making, keeping, and holding more money. That's what you're in business to do, to be of service, to help people, and to make, keep, and hold more money. So money leaks are not fixed by needing to work harder. They're fixed by starting to make million-dollar decisions. And to be clear, you do not need to have a million-dollar business to make these kinds of decisions. You become a million-dollar woman by starting to make those decisions now. Million-dollar decisions are the opposite of what I call shrink-to-fit decisions. And there are 3 traits of million-dollar decisions. Let me run through these really quickly for you. Number 1 is the trait of clarity. Million-dollar decisions are emotionally clean. They're profit-aligned choices that expand your income without requiring more hustle. They come from million-dollar emotions, not from fear, guilt, or urgency. Those are not million-dollar emotions. Those are shrink-to-fit emotions. A decision made from a million-dollar emotion is going to be vastly different than a decision made from a shrink-to-fit emotion. You're making million-dollar decisions from who you're becoming, not who you've been. That's so important. Please write that down. And decisions made without clarity mean money is going to just slip right through your fingers. The second trait is growth. Million-dollar decisions are the choices that protect, grow, and direct your cash instead of leaking it. Instead of shrinking to stay safe, they expand your income and they elevate your power. And number 3, the third trait is overflow. Million-dollar decisions are the strategic yeses and the powerful nos that create overflow. They don't just bring in money, they make room for you to hold it, save it, multiply it. Now, million-dollar decisions are typically not like grand, big, flashy types of decisions. Sometimes they are, but usually they're not. Often they are small, daily pivots. Sometimes, and very often actually, a million-dollar decision is simply choosing to send the follow-up email instead of ghosting your own opportunity. Choosing not to discount your offer just because someone flinched at the price. Choosing to raise your rates even when your brain is screaming, "What if no one buys?" So here's the mindset that I want you to write down. Your identity shifts in the moment you stop leaking power and you start creating it. So you can ask yourself these 2 coaching questions right now. The first is, what is one area of your business where you've been avoiding a decision because you're feeling uncertain or doubtful or scared? And by the way, I want you to pinpoint that, be specific. And the second question is, what would the million-dollar version of you do about that today? What would the million-dollar version of you do about that today? That's where your next breakthrough is. All right, so let's go through a checklist because I love checklists. I know you love checklists. Let's spot those leaks, okay? So this is a fairly short checklist, actually. I think I could probably give you a list of like 30 places where money is leaking, but let's not go there. Let's start with this list. Think of this as the quiet places where income disappears and power slips through your fingers. All right, so here we go. Undercharging for the depth of your work. Delaying raising your rates. Avoiding high-ticket offers even when your clients want more. Not setting bold income goals because you're afraid to fail. You're afraid you won't reach it. Not making consistent offers because of a fear of being salesy or whatever. Skipping offering upgrades or VIP options to your packages. Paying for tools or subscriptions or team that you're not using or not using to directly make money. Making money and watching it disappear just as fast because there's no system in place to help you hold it. Not following up with potential clients, not just recent ones, but from as long as a year ago. And the last one for today is avoiding launching or waiting too long in between launches. And I would include in that giving up on launches too early. So take a breath and exhale. If you see yourself in any of these, it's actually not a problem. There's a power pivot waiting to happen. That's all that is, okay? All right, so let's say you've caught yourself in 1, 2, or 3 of those money power leaks. What I think is so powerful to do next is to estimate how much it's costing you. Now, I know this can be a bit of medicine to swallow, but looking at a real number is incredibly motivating to make $1 million decision instead of falling back on a shrink to fit decision. So let me give you an example. Let's just take the money power leak of not offering a VIP upgrade option to your packages. And I'm going to use really simple numbers here in this example. So let's say that you have the opportunity, with a little creativity, to offer a VIP upgrade to your coaching or consulting package. And that upgrade is, let's say it's $1,000. You start offering it, and what do you know? 2 clients a month say yes to it. That's $2,000 extra a month. Over a year, that's $24,000 just by plugging one leak. You know, an example like this is not hypothetical. These are real income shifts that I see inside my Secret Energy of Money Mastermind every week. Now, I can go through every money power leak and help you calculate what it's costing you in lost income. And that is an exercise we do inside Secret Energy of Money. But you can get yourself started today with these 2 coaching questions. What would that increase look like for you, especially calculated over the course of a year? That's where it really, really adds up. And what would change if that money started flowing in instead of leaking out? Right? It's a gotcha kind of question, but boy, does it motivate a girl to do something about it. All right. So I want to go into our wrap up here by saying this. For men, money usually it's just a tool. They don't really overthink about it. They don't typically have a lot of emotions about it. But for women, money is an entirely different experience. Money is deeply emotional. We have a lot of feelings about it. We overthink it. We tie our self-worth, we tie our safety, we tie our freedom to how much we make, keep, and hold. But you can't separate money from the rest of who you are and expect to grow with your money. You can't separate it because every part of your business mirrors your money emotions and money decisions. From pricing, which equates to our self-worth, from list building, which equates to visibility and value, from launching, which equates to capacity and courage, from sales, which equates to safety and connection, you cannot outmarket a money leak. You cannot out-hustle your own emotions. But when you start seeing your business through the lens of $1 million emotions and $1 million decisions, everything changes and it changes for the better. You make more, you keep more, you multiply more, and you do it while feeling true to yourself, minus the money stress, minus the overwhelm, minus all the questioning and the overthinking. And again, trust me, I've coached thousands of women on money at all income levels, and I see this happening across the spectrum of income. It really doesn't matter. Money mentoring is where women go when they want to make more money because $1 million emotions and decisions come first. And then every business strategy that you want to use, it falls into place and starts to work for you. And this is what we do inside the Secret Energy of Money Mastermind. We plug those money leaks. We rewire your money emotions. We clean up your decisions so they go from shrink to fit to $1 million decisions. And we build overflow as your new normal with very practical money tools. I show you how to do that. You don't have to feel ready. You don't have to wait to feel ready. You don't need to be making more money yet. That's definitely a money power leak. You don't need to have a $1 million business to start making $1 million decisions. You start now. You start here. You come as you are, and then the money follows. And this is exactly what I did when I wanted to start making more money in my business, first to 100,000, and then I set that goal of $1 million. And then I've made nearly $30 million since I first broke $1 million in 2008. So that's a lot of money. And this is the work I did first. So Secret Energy of Money is the mastermind where women stop circling just enough and they start making, keeping, and holding more money. I definitely want you to check it out at secretenergyofmoney.com. And if this episode speaks to you, do me a favor, share it with a coach, share it with a consultant, tag me on Instagram and tell me, what money leak are you plugging this week? My Instagram handle is @KendallSummerhawk. You are here for more money peace, more money power, more financial profit, more cash in your bank account. And it all starts right now. This is your money empowerment era. Remember, money coaching changes lives, starting with yours. All right. Thank you so much. And I will see you here in next week's episode. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Money Coach School podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you follow so you never miss an episode. Also, I would so love and appreciate if you would leave a 5-star review. Your review supports women just like you in discovering all of the juicy tips and insights I'm sharing here on how to coach women on money. And if you want to learn how to excel at coaching women on money, definitely go to kendallsummerhawk.com and check out the wealth of money coach trainings that we have for you. Thanks so much for being part of this money coaching movement and for tuning into the show every week.